This is Katie Lopez with the Tampa Bay Chamber, and I want to thank and welcome the viewers for tuning in to our 2024 candidate interview series for the Pasco County Board of County Commissioners. The Chamber focuses on policy, not politics, and while we do not endorse, we do want to make sure that our members and the business community are informed of where candidates stand on the issues most important to them. We are excited to welcome Lisa Moretti, running for District 1. Thank you for joining us, Lisa.
Katie.
So as we head into the home stretch towards Election Day, can you give us a brief 30 seconds or less update on your campaign and what message you want to deliver to voters?
Sure. So things are going really well. I'm out there grassroots style, and I'm doing a lot of meet and greets. I hold them at libraries because I want to get people back into the library, which is sort of a extra little bonus there. Um, and my whole objective as running as an MPA candidate was that I was tired of party politics that were so polarizing. And when it comes to local politics, we really have to work together. It's more important at the local level than anywhere else in our political system. You know, I like to tell people that the pothole in your street is not partisan. So I chose purple as the color of my campaign because when red and blue work together, we truly are purple. And that's what we need to be doing. And my campaign slogan is if you want better, then vote better. It's easy to sit around and complain, but we have to get into the voting booth if we want to make a change.
Thank you. How can county government use its authority and its resources to direct job growth that is inclusive of diverse talent?
So we do have a challenge there, especially in Pasco. We're a little light on really great jobs that are well paying enough to meet the needs of people in our community that like our median income should be around 63,000, and yet we're doing things that attract jobs in the $40,000 range, which doesn't meet the needs of our residents. So we need to reorient our policies to be inclusive of the entire range of our wage earners and also to increase the wage base in our community. We're doing a lot of forgivable loans to companies to try to attract them to our community. And those loans don't include things like we allow people to defer their impact fees and that kind of thing. So it constantly is putting us behind the eight ball in terms of how we grow. We're growing irresponsibly right now. So that's the first thing. I like to remind people that when we talk about DEI, sometimes we try to throw the baby out with the bathwater because DEI also includes our veterans and our disabled community. And so when we want to say, let's get rid of DEI, well, let's not, because that's a really important component of our community, especially here in Pasco. We have a lot of veterans in our community. So I think we need to reevaluate and reorient our policies in that perspective as well.
A key duty of county commissioners is to construct, approve, and implement a budget. What one area of county services do you feel most needs additional resources, and should any part of the county budget be shielded from cuts?
So we have two areas actually. Our infrastructure is lagging dramatically, and that includes also our schools. I'm just absolutely gobsmacked that we can open a school on day one with portable classrooms. I That's poor planning. So we can improve that in our budgetary processes. Um, Also, because we are deferring our impact fees, that means that we are not putting the money into the system for infrastructure. And our current commissioners just passed a new ad valorem tax for property owners that's kind of hefty, that is for paving. And I feel that if we had done growth responsibly and we had also required the impact fees be paid on a regular basis, just like as if a regular homeowner was coming in to build, that we wouldn't be behind the eight ball on our road paving. Our roads are a mess. We have a huge problem with stormwater undermining a lot of our road systems because our stormwater system has not been maintained well. Currently, like half of Zephyr Hills is underwater. You know, half of the folks over on the coast are underwater. It also starts to bring in the saltwater intrusion issue. So it kind of all goes together in a great big lump. But if I could focus on one thing that I think we need to dramatically focus on and also shield from cuts of any kind, it would be our infrastructure.
Housing affordability remains a top concern for residents and the business community as we seek to recruit and retain a strong workforce. What zoning or policy changes would you support to address the growing workforce housing needs in Pasco County?
So one of our issues currently is that we don't really have a great sense of our inventory. We're building apartments left and right, but those apartments are not in the affordable category. And so we don't know what the occupancy rate is. We just keep granting more and more apartments. That's a problem. I think we need to have a moratorium for a year. And I know a lot of my construction folks go, whoa, wait a second, my local construction folks. And I like to remind them that we have so many entitlements on the books that it's not going to affect them having work. It will just slow us down so that we can be doing good growth as we move forward. So that's one component. In terms of affordable housing, I'm also opposed to we have large corporations coming in and saying, hey, we'll buy your house sight unseen for top dollar. And then they turn around and turn it into a rental and jack the price up. So that does two bad things. One, it makes the housing unaffordable for our residents. And two, it also takes inventory out of our market so that our veteran FHA loan and our first time homebuyer loan folks have no way to purchase a home. On top of that, when you add our property tax issues and our ad valorem taxes, they're priced completely out of being able to purchase a home. They may be able to purchase at the purchase price, but when you add those other components to it, they're completely priced out of the market. So we need to look at some way to create a policy that limits how much corporate ownership can occur in a neighborhood. I think that that's first and foremost, especially because if that corporation decides to turn around and dump their inventory, which we're seeing happen in Sarasota, then everybody's prices plummet. And so then we're, as a county, based on those ad valorem taxes that we're planning on paying those bonds with, we're in a position where we could really be in a pickle.
Transportation challenges continue to weigh on our region. What do you see as an opportunity for investment in innovative transit alternatives and mobility options?
So Pasco County has, we're a very broad county. It's almost an hour to drive across the county. And we don't have a good infrastructure in place. And because we have had such irresponsible growth, the roads that we do have are really getting worn down very quickly. And while I talk with the planning department about like what are things that we can do, it was no, we need to bring more people in so we can pay for that infrastructure to be constantly repaving. And I'm like, what if we said no? That would reduce the impact on us. We also need to have a more innovative system. Like I'm a huge fan of light rail. I would love to see some sort of a light rail system come into the county, actually the region, because I think we would be participant in that. Um, uh, Over on 301 in the east side of our county, we have some opportunities there that we could do some either rail or light rail type of situation. We just need to sit down and slow down and make some forward thinking plans, not reactionary plans. The thing that I see is probably most predominant in our decision making here in the county is that we're typically reactive and not proactive. And so I'd like to see us take a more proactive stance in planning and work with our partners in our other counties. Um, those are the primary things that I think are, there are a lot of smaller things like you should be able to get on a bus and have it go someplace that you want to go to, not just dump you in the middle of someplace where you have to try to figure out how to walk a mile to get to something.
Of all the issues confronting Pasco County, which single issue is most important to you and why? And what would you do about it if you are elected?
So the single issue that is most important to me is slowing the growth. We have been irresponsibly growing without the planning, without the infrastructure support. So number one, slow that growth. How would I do that? A couple things. One, we need a moratorium for a year so that we can stop and slow down. Our permitting department has been overwhelmed. They are so far trying to catch up so rapidly, and they're so far behind the eight ball with so much of the stuff that's been happening. We need to slow that down. We need to put in some stronger codes and ordinances in our land use code. Currently, we're at a 45-foot lot line. I think that's ridiculous. I would like to see us bump it at least to 50, probably closer to 60. And people tell me, well, you're going to lose your developers. No, we're going to lose developers that come in and do these massive urban sprawl cookie cutter developments. they call them communities, and then they name them about something sort of romantic about what they decimated. It's like Majestic Oaks. Well, yeah, there used to be Majestic Oaks here, but now they're not because you clear cut them and then you name the development Majestic Oaks. And it's really just sprawl. It's not creating actual communities and hometowns that we can be proud of, that we can love, that honor our culture. We're going in and taking out our culture in some of our longtime communities. We're just decimating them. So I think that a slow down process, a better vision, um, actually sticking to our comprehensive plan over the past years that I've been at Board of County Commissioner meetings representing different groups or different projects. I've watched us change our our comprehensive plan over and over and over, and our zoning over and over and over to meet people's whims that aren't local residents. So when we're constantly changing our plans to meet the needs of large scale developers from out of state, out of town, or out of multinational corporations, I don't think that that's in our best interest. We need growth that improves the quality of life for our local businesses and our residents. Our local developers are great because they live here. So they want to actually do it right because they live in the same thing that they're pushing, right? So I like supporting them because I've seen them do things well. But these groups that come in that are just, we're just another cookie cutter. I drive across the country quite frequently, and, the communities that we're putting into Pasco County, I can find those in Texas, I can find those in Oklahoma, I can find those in Kansas, and they look exactly the same.
Where can voters go to learn more about your campaign and your position on issues that are most important to them?
So we have a couple of different places. First, I have a website, which is votelisamoretti.com. I also have a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@votelisamoretti. And I also maintain a Facebook page, which is Lisa Moretti for Pasco. And I'm here to pick up the phone and answer it. My number's 352-806-8135. Happy to take phone calls. But I also want to warn people, if you're going to YouTube, make sure you put the vote in there, because there's another Lisa Moretti, and she's a professional wrestler. We're the same age. We grew up about a half a mile apart. She went to the rival high school. She tried out for Miss Torrance the year before I won. It's been a constant thing, and I get lots of email for her, like, you're the most beautiful woman in the WWF, and I'm thrilled that they feel that way about her, and I feel so sorry to tell them that they've not found the person they're looking for. So that vote is super important unless you want to watch professional women's wrestling.
Well, Lisa Moretti, candidate for Pasco County Board of County Commissioners, District 1, on behalf of our members and our board of directors, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us and your willingness to serve in an elected office. This concludes our
Thank you.
candidate interview.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to be here, especially as an NPA candidate. I know that's a little unusual for everybody, but I've seen a lot of people moving into the NPA position. So thank you.